She texted from her girls' trip. "The club here is amazing. Wish you were here." Attached was a photo of her in my boss's lap. I replied, "Looks like fun." Then I forwarded the image to HR and the company's ethics board. Her fun trip ended with 2 unexpected job terminations. I, 32 male, am an analyst for a large logistics corporation. Or I was. Now I'm the guy sitting in his home office at 3 a.m. staring at a single email in his sent folder, wondering if he just detonated his entire life. My fiancée, Maya, 30, works in the same company. Different department, marketing. We've been together 4 years, engaged for 1. We live in my condo, the one I bought before we met. Life was stable, good. We were planning a wedding. Then there's Alistair, 45. He's a senior VP. He's also my direct boss. For the last 3 months, Maya's been weirdly chummy with him. I'm not the jealous type, really, but it was a lot. Laughing too loud at his terrible jokes in the break room. Staying late for networking drinks that just so happened to be at the same bar Alistair frequents. "He's a really important mentor, Leo," she'd say, brushing off my concerns. "He's giving me insight into the executive track. You should be happy for me." "He's my boss, Maya. It just looks a little weird," I said last week. "God, don't be so insecure," she snapped. "It's work. You think I can't have a male mentor? That's pretty reductive, don't you think?" "What do you say to that?" I backed off. I felt like a chump, but I let it go. This weekend she went on a girls' trip with her friend Bree. A long weekend spa and club hopping getaway. I helped her pack, kissed her goodbye at the door, told her to have fun and be safe. Tonight, around 11:30 p.m., my phone buzzed. It was Maya. "Maya, OMG, the club here is amazing. Wish you were here, it's insane." Attached was a photo. It wasn't a selfie. It wasn't a picture of the dance floor. It was a picture of her. Drink in one hand, phone in the other, sitting squarely in Alistair's lap. She was in a tiny black dress. His hand was high up on her leg. His other arm was wrapped tight around her waist. They were in a dark, plush VIP booth. He was grinning at the camera like he'd just won a prize. She was making a kissy face. I recognized the ridiculously gaudy silver bracelet on his wrist. He never takes it off. I stared at it for a full minute. The blood in my veins turned to ice water. She wasn't on a girls' trip with Bree. Or if she was, Alistair had been the destination. My first thought was, she sent this to the wrong person. This was meant for Bree. This was a brag. My second thought was, she's sitting on my boss. My third thought was, I'm supposed to marry this woman in 6 months. My hands were shaking. Not with rage, but with clarity. A cold, awful clarity. This wasn't just cheating. This was a professional and personal atom bomb. She was sleeping with my boss. A senior VP in our company. I typed back one sentence. Me. Looks like fun. She didn't reply. Maybe she finally looked at who she sent it to. Maybe she was too busy. I didn't care. I put my phone down. I walked to the kitchen and poured a glass of water, but I didn't drink it. I just stood in the dark. She hadn't just betrayed me as a partner. She had, with spectacular stupidity, compromised my entire career. How could I ever go into a performance review with Alistair again? How could I sit in a team meeting? He held my salary, my bonuses, my future at this company in his hands, and my fiancée was in his lap. This wasn't a personal matter anymore. This was a corporate liability. I walked back to my office. I opened my work laptop. I pulled up a new email to ethics.compliance@logistics-corp.com, hr.investigations@logisticscorp.com. From leo@logisticscorp.com. Subject, formal complaint, gross misconduct and conflict of interest. VP Alistair R, Senior Analyst, Leo V, Marketing ASOC, Maya K. Body, to the Ethics and Compliance Board and Human Resources. I am writing to report a severe conflict of interest and a violation of the company's non-fraternization and ethics policies. I am an analyst reporting directly to Senior VP Alistair. My fiancée, Maya Ibame, is an associate in the marketing department. I have just received indisputable evidence that Mr. Alistair's last name is in an inappropriate relationship with my direct subordinate's fiancée, who is Maya's last name, who is also an employee. This relationship creates an untenable and hostile work environment for me. It represents a significant abuse of power by a senior executive and calls into question the professional integrity and judgment of both Mr. Alice's name and Ms. Maya's last name. Attached is a photograph I received at 11:32 p.m. this evening, time-stamped. It was sent to me by Miss Maya's last name herself. I request an immediate and confidential investigation into this matter. I am available to discuss this further at your convenience. I will be working from home tomorrow, as I no longer feel I can be in the same building as my direct supervisor. Sincerely, Leo Vance. I attached the photo, the full, high-resolution image of her on his lap. I read the email over twice. It was cold. It was professional. It was completely and totally devastating. I hit send at 12:15 a.m. I went back to the kitchen and made a pot of coffee. I knew I wasn't sleeping. The sun is starting to come up and my phone has been silent. Her fun trip is still going on. She has no idea what's waiting for her when she lands. The title says this ended with 2 terminations. It's Monday morning now. I got an automated reply from the ethics board. A real person will be in touch. The bomb is airborne. I'm just waiting for the sound. Update 1, it's been 2 weeks. I feel like I've aged a year for every day. The Monday after I sent the email was silent. I logged in from home as I'd stated. My email was a ghost town. No messages from Alistair. No where are you from my team. It was eerie. At 10 a.m., I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. It was a woman from the ethics board. Her voice was all business, zero emotion. Mr. Vance, thank you for your discretion. We have received your complaint. We are taking it extremely seriously. A formal investigation has been opened. Please do not discuss this with anyone, and I mean anyone. Not your colleagues, not your friends, and especially not Miss Maya's last name or Mr. A's last name. Is that clear? Crystal clear, I said. Good. For the duration of the investigation, you will be on paid administrative leave. Please do not log into the company network. We will be in touch. She hung up. Paid leave. Wow. They weren't messing around. The rest of the week was torture. I deep cleaned the condo. I went to the grocery store at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday just because I could. I reorganized my garage. I did everything possible to not think about Maya, who was due back on Tuesday night. I didn't hear from her. No, I'm home. No, I'm so sorry. I made a mistake. Nothing. Her flight must have landed. She just didn't come home. Then, Friday afternoon, I got a text from a colleague. Dude, what the hell is going on? Alistair is gone. What do you mean, gone? I typed, my heart pounding. Like gone. Security was at his desk. His name is out of the company directory. There's an all-hands meeting for our division in 20 minutes. An hour later, my phone lit up again. They just sent a company-wide email. Alistair last name is no longer with the company, effective immediately. And I checked the marketing directory. Maya is gone too. Her name is gone. Leo, what did you do? I didn't answer. I just sat on my couch. The title of this post. It was real. They were both fired. The quiet in the condo was deafening. That's when I heard a key in the lock. Maya came in, dragging her suitcase. The one I bought her for our anniversary. She didn't look like someone who had just been fired. She looked furious. Leo, she said. Her voice was low and shaking. Maya, I said, not getting up. I have 27 missed calls from HR, she said. I have an email from the ethics board saying I'm terminated, for a morality clause violation. What did you do? I just looked at her. What did I do? You sent me a picture, Maya, of you on our boss's lap. Did you think I was just gonna, frame it? It was a mistake. She shrieked. I sent it to the wrong person. It was a stupid drunk mistake. You were supposed to be the man. You were supposed to call me, yell at me. We were supposed to talk about it. Talk about what? I said, finally standing up. Talk about the fact that you're sleeping with my boss, the man who controls my entire career? Or talk about the girls' trip that was just a cover for you to go play with him? He was going to get me a promotion, she screamed. Tears of rage, not regret, streaming down her face. A real promotion, into management. He said I had executive potential. I'll bet he did, I said. And you ruined it. You ruined everything. You couldn't just keep your mouth shut. You had to go to HR like a child. You got me fired, Leo. The entitlement was staggering. It was like I was looking at a stranger. She wasn't sorry she cheated. She was sorry she got caught. And she was furious that I had protected myself instead of protecting her. You're right, Maya, I said. I did. You and Alistair created a hostile work environment for me. You put me in an impossible position, so I removed the problem. You're both the problem. My career is over, she sobbed. Alistair's is over. He's going to be blacklisted. All because you were jealous. Okay, I said. I went to the hall closet and pulled out 3 large trash bags. I walked back to the living room and threw them at her feet. Get your stuff, I want you out. Her head snapped up. What? You're fired. You're not my fiancé. You don't live here anymore. Get your things and get out of my home. You can't do that, she sputtered. This is my home. I've been living here for 2 years. I have rights. You have the right to get your makeup and your clothes and leave, I said. No, she screamed. I'm not going anywhere. You'll have to evict me, you bastard. You'll have to get a lawyer and evict me. See how HR likes that? She picked up her suitcase, wheeled it into the guest room, and slammed the door. I heard the lock click. I just stood there. She was right. She'd been here long enough. She had established tenancy. I couldn't just throw her out. I sat back down on the couch. This was not the clean victory I'd imagined. This was a new kind of war, and the enemy was sleeping in my guest room. Final update. It's been 3 months. 3 months of the most surreal, tense, and utterly miserable time of my life. But it's over. I'm sitting in my condo, and it is completely and totally silent. The eviction threat was real. My lawyer, yes, I had to get one, confirmed it. Because she'd been here over 30 days and received mail, she was a month-to-month tenant, fiancé or not. We had to serve her with a formal 30-day notice to vacate. So for 30 days, we lived in the same house. It was a cold war. I slept in my bedroom. She stayed in the guest room. She'd be in the kitchen when I needed to make dinner, humming to herself like nothing was wrong. She used my utilities, my internet, my shower. She ate my food. Her entitlement was off the charts. You know, you're really the one at fault here, she said one night while I was trying to watch the news. I ignored her. No, really, she said, standing in front of the TV. If you had just been more ambitious, like Alistair, I wouldn't have had to look for mentorship elsewhere. You kind of drove me to him. I just stared at her. You need to move, Maya. You're so cold, she scoffed. No wonder I was unhappy. But the real dirty trick didn't come from her. It came from Alistair. 2 weeks into the 30-day notice, I was served with papers. Alistair was suing, not the company. He was suing me for tortious interference with a contract and defamation. His claim? That he and Maya were just close friends and colleagues. That the photo was a harmless, celebratory moment taken out of context. That I, in a fit of jealous rage, had maliciously misrepresented this platonic friendship to HR and the ethics board, causing him to lose his job and suffer irreparable damage to his reputation. He was seeking $500,000 in damages. I had to hire a second lawyer, a civil defense attorney. My administrative leave was over, but my career was still in limbo. The company's lawyers were focused on defending the company from Alistair's wrongful termination suit, which he'd also filed. But they made it clear that my civil suit was my problem. I was bleeding money. I was paying a mortgage on a condo my squatter ex was living in, and I was paying 2 sets of lawyers. I felt like I was drowning. This was the real-life part they don't show in the movies. The part where the villain tries to bleed you dry. I was at my breaking point. I had to get her out. The 30-day notice was up, and she was still there. We were filing for the formal eviction hearing. As part of that, my lawyer advised me to have a witness and to professionally pack and catalog all her belongings to be moved into storage the moment the eviction was granted. This weekend, my brother and I started the process. We went into the guest room. She was out meeting with her lawyer, aka getting coffee with Bree. We were bagging up her clothes, her books, her mountains of shoes. In the back of the closet was a box. It wasn't shoes, it was old electronics. And in it was her old work laptop. Not the new one the company had issued her, but one from a few years ago. Just label it old laptop and put it in the box, my brother said. Hold on, I said, I don't know why. A hunch. I opened it, the battery was dead, I plugged it in, it booted up, slowly, and it logged right in. No password. The desktop was a mess of old files, but one folder caught my eye. It was named Alistair Personal. My heart stopped. I clicked it. It wasn't love letters. It was work. It was spreadsheets, client lists, marketing pipelines, internal cost analysis documents, stuff that was way above Maya's pay grade. And then I saw the subfolders: competitor analysis, Apex, Nuco pitch deck, client transition plan. My blood ran cold. Alistair wasn't just mentoring her, he was planning to leave and start his own competing firm. And he was using Maya, my fiancée, an employee in the marketing department, to systematically steal proprietary data, client lists, and financial models from our company. The promotion she was so mad about losing? It wasn't a promotion at our company, it was her buy-in to his new one. This wasn't just an affair. This wasn't just an ethics violation. This was corporate espionage. This was a multi-million-dollar theft, and she was his accomplice. The photo she sent me. It wasn't just a drunk mistake. It was the ultimate, arrogant, we're winning brag from a woman who thought she was untouchable. I stopped packing. I took the laptop. I called my civil attorney. Stop the eviction filing, I said, and cancel my appointment for Monday. Instead, I need you to set up a meeting with the general counsel of my company. And I mean now. The meeting was on Monday morning. Me, my lawyer, and a room full of stony-faced company attorneys. I put the laptop on the table. I told them what I found. I gave them the password. An IT security guy plugged it in. His eyes went wide after about 5 minutes of clicking. He looked at the general counsel and just nodded. The general counsel looked at me. Mr. Vance, you've been on administrative leave. I am happy to inform you that your leave is over. You're being promoted with a 20% raise, effective immediately. We are also absorbing 100% of your legal fees related to Mr. Alistair's last name's civil suit. I almost fainted. What happens now? I asked. What happens now, the general counsel said, is that we are filing a multi-million-dollar civil suit against both Mr. Alistair's last name and Miss Stray for theft of trade secrets, breach of fiduciary duty, and conspiracy. His lawsuit against you will be resolved. And we will be turning this laptop and its contents over to the district attorney's office to pursue criminal charges. Alistair's suit against me was dropped within 24 hours. The company's lawyers took over the eviction. With the new evidence that Maya had been using my home to participate in a criminal conspiracy against the company, they got an emergency hearing. The judge granted an immediate writ of possession. She had 24 hours. I was there when the sheriff's deputies showed up. Maya was in the living room, on the phone, probably with her mom. "Ma'am, you have to vacate the premises immediately." "You can't do this," she shrieked, looking at me. "Leo, tell them, this is our home. You can't." "It's not your home, Maya," I said. The deputies were already moving her bags to the door. "And it's not our anything." You did this," she screamed, finally realizing. "The laptop, you found it. You couldn't just let me go. You had to ruin my life." "You were stealing, Maya," I said, my voice quiet. "You and Alistair, you weren't just cheating on me. You were committing a crime. You did this to yourself." "Where am I supposed to go?" she wailed as the deputies guided her out the door. "You've taken everything from me. I have nothing." "You should have thought about that before you hit send." "Ping," I said. I closed the door. I locked the deadbolt. I leaned against it and just breathed. It's over. Alistair and Maya are both facing a massive corporate lawsuit and a criminal investigation. Their careers aren't just over. They're incinerated. They're both buried so deep in legal trouble, it's doubtful they'll ever get out. As for me, I'm back at work. I have a new title. I have a new boss who seems to actually respect me. The condo is quiet. It's empty, and I've never been more relieved. It's not a happy ending. I lost 4 years of my life to a lie. But it's a just ending. I got my condo back, I got my career back, and they got exactly what they deserved. She texted, "At my ex's house, his dad died. Don't be jealous." I replied, "My condolences." Then I looked up the obituaries and found nothing. When I sent flowers to the deceased father who answered his own door, the ex called me in a panic. I, 28 male, got that text from my girlfriend Brianna, 26, last Thursday at 9 p.m. We'd been together for 2 years, living together for 6 months. The full text said, "Hey babe, I'm at Garrett's house. His dad just died suddenly this afternoon. The whole family is devastated. I know this is weird, but he called me crying and I couldn't say no. Don't be jealous. I'll be home late." Garrett is her ex from college. They dated for 3 years, broke up 4 years ago. He still comments on all her Instagram posts with fire emojis. I replied, "My condolences to his family. Take your time." She sent back heart emojis and, "This is why I love you. So understanding." Something felt off though. Not the going to comfort an ex part. Death is death, I get it. But the "don't be jealous" line. Why even add that, unless? So I did what any reasonable person would do. I checked the local obituaries online. Nothing for anyone with Garrett's last name Hutchinson. Checked the funeral home websites. Nothing. Checked his dad's Facebook. We're not friends, but his profile is public. He'd posted about his golf game that morning. Interesting. I didn't confront Brianna. Instead, I decided to be a thoughtful boyfriend. I called a florist the next morning and ordered a nice arrangement. For the Hutchinson family, deepest sympathies on your loss. Had it delivered to Garrett's parents' house that afternoon. 2 hours later, my phone exploded. Garrett called me 15 times in 3 minutes. I let it go to voicemail. His message: "Dude, what the hell? Why did you send flowers to my parents?" My dad just called me freaking out, thinking someone's trying to tell him he's gonna die or something. This isn't funny. I texted back: "Brianna told me your father passed away suddenly. I was trying to be respectful. Is he okay?" Radio silence for 10 minutes. Then, "I need to call you. I'm at work. Text is fine. This is a misunderstanding." What kind of misunderstanding leads to someone saying your dad is dead? No response. Brianna called me 20 minutes later. I answered. "Hey babe," she said, voice shaky. "So there's been a weird mix-up." "Oh, I must have been confused. It was Garrett's uncle, his great-uncle, lives in another state. I mixed up the family members." "His great-uncle died and you went to comfort him at his house here?" "Yes, he was really close to his great-uncle." "What was his name?" "Whose name?" "The great-uncle who died." Long pause. "Robert." "Okay, I'll send flowers to that funeral too." "What funeral home?" "No, I mean, that's not necessary. It's respectful." "What funeral home, Brie?" She hung up. I went home early. She was already there, pacing the living room. "Ethan, we need to talk." "Yeah, we do." I wasn't at Garrett's house. No kidding. I was at my friend Qley's bachelorette party. I laughed, actually laughed. "Qley got married 2 years ago. I was at the wedding." Her face went red. "Different Qley. What's her last name? You don't know her." "Try me." She burst into tears. "Why are you interrogating me? God, you're so controlling." "I'm controlling? You told me someone died. That's psychotic." "I knew you'd overreact if I told you I was seeing Garrett." "There it was. So you were at his house." "It's not what you think." "What is it then?" "We were just catching up, as friends. But I knew you'd be weird about it, so I made something up." "You made up a death?" I panicked. I stood up. "I need you to leave." "What, Ethan, come on." "It was a white lie. You told me someone's parent died. You made me feel sympathy for someone's fake grief. That's not a white lie. That's deranged." "You're ending our relationship over this?" "Yes." She grabbed her stuff and left, still crying about how I was overreacting. That night, she texted me 82 times. Everything from "I'm sorry" to "You're pathetic" to "Garrett treats me better anyway" to "Please take me back." I didn't respond to any of them. Update 1. The entitlement has reached astronomical levels. So Brianna moved back to her mom's house. Her mom, Diane, has been calling me non-stop. This woman has left me 12 voicemails about how I'm throwing away something beautiful over a miscommunication. But here's where it gets good. Garrett's girlfriend reached out to me on Instagram. Yeah, his girlfriend. Turns out he's been dating someone named Haley for 8 months. She saw my name in his phone when he was freaking out about the flowers. Haley and I had coffee yesterday. The tea she spilled was scorching. According to Garrett's texts, which Haley screenshot, Brianna has been coming over for closure conversations for months. These conversations happened when Haley was at work. Brianna told Garrett she was basically single because I was emotionally unavailable. The night of the fake death, they hooked up. Haley dumped him immediately. But before she did, she forwarded me everything, including a photo Garrett had taken of Brianna in his bed that night. She was wearing the bracelet I gave her for our anniversary. I forwarded everything to Brianna with one message: "Your mom can stop calling me now." Her response was incredible. "You had no right to share my private information with strangers. That's revenge porn. I'm calling the police." I replied, "You were fully clothed. Also, Haley isn't a stranger. She's the other woman you were betraying." Then came the real entitlement. Brianna showed up at my work during lunch. Security had to escort her out when she started screaming about how I was ruining her life and turning everyone against her. My coworker Jordan recorded the whole thing. Brianna actually said, and I quote, "I only lied because you're boring. Garrett makes me feel alive. But I chose you for stability." The entire office heard that. My boss gave me the rest of the day off and told me to file a restraining order. But wait, there's more. That evening, Diane showed up at my apartment with Brianna and Brianna's dad, Keith. They wanted to have an intervention. Keith, "Son, relationships require forgiveness. We're not in a relationship. She made one mistake. She's been cheating for months." It wasn't cheating. We were just talking. Haley has photos that suggest otherwise. Keith, what happens between a man and woman is private. Then keep it private. Don't bring it to my apartment. Diane then tried a new angle. Brianna's been struggling with depression. This isn't really her. Brianna nodded eagerly. Yes, I'm sick. I need help, not abandonment. Then get help elsewhere. Keith got aggressive. You're gonna throw away 2 years over some texts? Be a man. A man doesn't stay with a woman who lies about deaths and cheats. Please leave. They refused. I called the police. Brianna told the cops I was holding her belongings hostage. I showed them our text history where she admitted she took everything when she left. The cops told them to leave or face trespassing charges. As they left, Diane shouted, "You'll regret this when you're alone forever." Brianna added, "Nobody else will put up with your boring ass anyway." Cool. Still not taking her back. Update 2. Everything has escalated to levels I didn't think possible. Remember how I mentioned Brianna told people I was emotionally unavailable? Well, turns out she's been laying groundwork for months. Her best friend Zoe messaged me. "Just so you know, Bree's been telling everyone you're basically roommates. She said you haven't touched her in 6 months and she thinks you're gay." That's funny because we literally had sex the morning before the fake death text. But okay, here's what Brianna did next. She created a whole narrative on social media about being trapped in a loveless relationship and how she finally found the courage to leave her emotionally abusive partner. She didn't name me, but we have tons of mutual friends. Everyone knew. The posts included, "Sometimes the person who seems perfect is the one slowly killing your soul. I gave 2 years to someone who couldn't give me 2 minutes of affection. Garrett has shown me what real love looks like." A photo of her and Garrett with the caption, "When you finally find your person after years of settling." The comments were full of her friends praising her bravery. One even started planning a freedom party for her. I didn't respond publicly. Instead, I did something better. I compiled a timeline. Screenshots of her saying she loved me the day before the fake death. 2. Her texts admitting she lied about the death. 3. Her admitting she was at Garrett's. 4. Garrett's texts to Haley about their affair. 5. The photo of her in his bed. 6. Her showing up at my work screaming that she chose me for stability. 7. The police report from her family's trespassing incident. I sent this privately to 5 people, the mutual friends who'd been commenting supportively on her posts. Within hours, the narrative shifted. People started calling her out. Her freedom party was canceled. But Brianna doubled down. She posted that I was weaponizing her trauma and turning people against a victim. Then Garrett dumped her. Yeah. After all this, after leaving Haley, after the drama, he dumped her via text. "This is too much drama. You said you were single. I don't want to be involved in this mess." Brianna lost it. She called me at 2 a.m. sobbing. "Are you happy now? You ruined everything. I didn't do anything. You lied, you cheated, and you faced consequences. Garrett was my soulmate." "Your soulmate who dumped you after a week?" "He only left because you made this public." "I didn't make anything public. I privately told the truth to 5 people." "You're evil. You're actually evil." "Okay. I'm going to destroy you. Good luck with that." She hung up. The next day, she tried to make good on that threat. She called my employer claiming I was harassing her. HR called me in. I showed them everything, including the security footage of her causing a scene. They banned her from the property and offered me their legal team if needed. She told my landlord I was dealing drugs. He laughed, because I'm the most boring tenant ever. I barely have people over, and I'm in bed by 10 p.m. She even called my mom, telling her I was mentally unstable and needed intervention. My mom's response was legendary. "Honey, the only unstable person here is someone who lies about deaths. Please, lose my number." But the peak delusion came yesterday. Brianna sent me a formal letter, like printed and everything, with terms for reconciliation. 1. I publicly apologize for overreacting. 2. I delete all evidence of her mistake. 3. I pay free for couples therapy. 4. I apologize to Garrett for the flowers. 5. I let her move back in immediately. 6. We pretend this never happened. At the bottom she wrote, "You have 48 hours to accept these terms, or I'll have no choice but to move on permanently." I framed it. It's hanging in my kitchen. My friends think it's hilarious. Update 3. Brianna did not, in fact, move on permanently. Instead, she started dating Garrett's best friend, Tyler. Yeah, you read that right. She's now with the best friend of the guy she cheated with. Tyler reached out to me on Instagram. "Hey man, just wanted you to know, there's no hard feelings. Bree told me everything about how you were basically roommates and how you emotionally neglected her. I'm glad she's free now." I sent him the framed terms for reconciliation photo with the caption, "Does this look like something someone would send to a roommate?" He blocked me immediately. But here's where karma gets beautiful. Remember Haley, Garrett's ex? We've become friends through this mess. She works in HR at a major company downtown. Guess who applied for a job there? Brianna. Haley didn't sabotage anything, she's professional like that, but she did give the hiring manager a heads up about the potential culture fit concerns regarding someone who fabricates deaths and creates hostile work environments. Brianna didn't get the job. She found out through a mutual friend that Haley worked there. Her response was to threaten to sue Haley for defamation and career sabotage. Haley's response, "Truth is an absolute defense against defamation. Also, I have screenshots." Meanwhile, Tyler was learning what dating Brianna actually meant. She was texting Garrett constantly about closure. She was also texting me about making a mistake. She told Tyler's mom that they were planning to get engaged. They'd been dating for 5 days. She changed her relationship status to engaged to Tyler on Facebook. She started planning their wedding on Pinterest. Tyler lasted exactly 9 days before he called me. "Dude, I'm sorry. You were right. She's insane." Apparently, the breaking point was when she called his ex-girlfriend to warn her to stay away from her man. His ex lives in another country. They haven't talked in 3 years. So now Brianna was single again. And this time, she went nuclear. She created a blog, a whole blog, called Dating While Healing, where she posted about her journey from emotional abuse to freedom. Every post was clearly about me, but with names changed. Evan was described as a controlling narcissist who isolated her from friends and made her feel worthless. The blog got some traction in certain circles. She was getting sympathy from strangers who didn't know the real story, until Haley and I decided to create our own website, The Real Story, where we posted all the screenshots, timelines, and evidence. We didn't promote it or anything, just sent the link to anyone who asked about Brianna's blog. Her blog mysteriously went private after that. Final update. The universe has a sense of humor. Last week, I ran into Garrett's dad at the grocery store. Yes, the deceased father. He recognized me immediately. "You're the flower guy." We had a laugh about it. Then he said something interesting. "That girl your ex was seeing my son about? She's trouble. Been calling our house at all hours, crying about some Tyler fellow. My wife had to block her number." "She's not my problem anymore," I said. "Smart man. You know she told my wife that you were abusive? My wife asked for specifics, and the girl said you were emotionally abusive because you didn't notice her new haircut once." We both laughed. But here's the real finale. Brianna sent me one last email last night. The subject line, "You won." The email, "I hope you're happy. You've turned everyone against me. Garrett won't talk to me. Tyler blocked me. Even my own friends think I'm crazy now. My mom says I need therapy. My dad won't pay for my apartment anymore because he says I need to learn accountability. You destroyed my life over one lie." One lie. "I was just trying to spare your feelings about seeing Garrett. I could have just cheated without telling you anything, but I tried to be considerate by making up a reason. Now I have to move back to my hometown. I have to live with my parents at 26. I have to get a job at my uncle's insurance company because nowhere else will hire me. You ruined everything. I hope karma gets you." I replied, "Karma already got someone in this situation. Also, it wasn't one lie. It was months of lies, cheating, manipulation, and harassment. Good luck at the insurance company. She responded immediately. I hate you. I didn't reply. As for me, I'm doing great. Started dating someone new, Amy from my climbing gym. She thinks the whole story is wild and regularly jokes about faking deaths to get out of boring dinners. My goldfish died, can't make it. Haley's dating someone too. We all went on a double date last week. It was surprisingly not weird. The flowers I sent to Garrett's dad, his mom dried them and keeps them in a vase because they're too nice to throw away, and it's such a funny story now. Garrett messaged me once, sorry for all the drama, man. I didn't know she was that crazy. I left him on red. Diane still occasionally texts me about how I broke her daughter. I've never responded. Keith sent me a LinkedIn request last week with a message. No hard feelings, son. Business is business. I have no idea what that means. I declined the request. And Brianna? According to social media, she's back in her hometown, working at her uncle's State Farm office, posting inspirational quotes about rising from the ashes and phoenixes don't look back. Her last post was, sometimes the universe removes people from your life to protect you. Thankful for the lessons. The comments were turned off. To everyone who thinks I was too harsh, she lied about someone dying. She cheated for months. She tried to destroy my reputation, my job, and my relationships. She brought her family to my home to harass me. She created an entire blog to paint me as an abuser. All I did was tell the truth and let her face the consequences of her own actions. Sometimes the best revenge isn't actually revenge. It's just stepping back and letting someone experience the natural results of their choices. Thanks for following along, Reddit. I'm gonna go live my boring, death lie-free life now. Edit, since people keep asking, yes, the uncle who owns the insurance company is Diane's brother. He apparently told Brianna she has to work there for at least a year to learn the value of hard work and honesty. He also makes her cold call leads as character building. Edit 2. To everyone saying Amy is a rebound, we're taking things slow and she knows the whole story. She actually insisted we wait a few months before making anything official because anyone who lies about death has definitely left some psychological damage. She's in therapy, I'm in therapy, we're all in therapy. It's great. Edit 3. Garrett's mom messaged me on Facebook to say Brianna drove by their house last week, slowly. They're considering a restraining order. The flowers I sent are still in their living room though. So at least something good came from this mess.